Hello and welcome to today's video. Today I want to talk about some paper. Now I've spoken about Maruman paper before. This is Maruman. And these particular notebooks are available from the Japanese international retailer Daiso. So these are really affordable. In Australia, these cost like $3 each. And it's pretty decent paper. Now this is kind of like the budget end of Maruman. This is their sort of like everyday range, simple coil binding, 30 pages. It's not a huge notebook. But if you're like me and you take copious notes on the road, you're working on multiple projects, you're, writing out, well, for me, it's writing out lyrics to shows, all of that kind of stuff. These kinds of notebooks at this kind of price point are a kind of like super valuable commodity. Now, as you can see, they come in a couple of different sizes and things. This is the A5 size, or standard A5 size with 6mm rule, as at 30 pages. And I wanted to quickly just show a writing test I've done in the back. The layout, just as you can see, has like, date and head space, and then there's sort of, as I said, 6mm rule, and then every few lines are marked by a little dot just on the page there, which is kind of a nice little feature. I enjoy those kinds of things. Here is the written test I have done. Now, I'm a fountain pen user. I'm not sure if you gathered that by now after the 600 fountain pen videos I've made, but I'm a fountain pen user, but I also use other pens in other situations, and I wanted to sort of give a number of things a different go on here, as I do with all my paper tests. So I did Lamy Black in a Leonardo Momento Zero Grande Pura with a medium nib, Diamond Kensington Blue in a Pilot Custom 845 with a fine nib, Robert Oster Tranquility in a Lamy 2000 with a medium nib, Mont Blanc Poppy Red in a Mont Blanc 221, which is a vintage pen with a 14K 1.1mm stub nib, or roughly 1.1. Diamond Oxford Blue in a Leonardo Momento Zero Grande 2.0. And then Noodler's Bay State Blue in the Jinhao 992 fine nib, which I always keep that in. Plus I wrote with a Pentel Energel 07, a Lamy Rollerball Medium, a Sakura Micron 0.5, the black one, a Bic ballpoint pen, just on that, classic 4-color click ballpoint pen, a highlighter over some of that ballpoint pen, a Tombow Mono 2B pencil, and then I did an eraser test. And actually, this eraser test performed better than a lot of eraser tests. I'm impressed with that. And then I used a Sharpie marker. So first thing you can see is that the colors on these inks, and I've chosen some of these inks for this reason: vibrant blues, darker blue, red, green, and black. So we've got a good range of colors there to sort of show. Mont Blanc Poppy Red is probably a little bit duller than you'd expect, but you do get some nice shading, and on that Tranquility ink there you get some sheen, so that's nice. You can see that all the lines are nice and tight, and also things like there's shading and all of that kind of stuff. So this paper is fountain pen friendly and fountain pen flattering on this side. Maruman paper, generally speaking, is very good. Japanese paper generally tends to have a higher weave and have a smoother texture than a lot of other papers. And to find Daiso using good quality papers they have from like the Kokuyo notebooks and things like that, the campus ones, plus a range of other brands, they occasionally get these very, very high quality brands of stationery products, ballpoint pens from Hauser, fountain pens from Platinum, all these kinds of things, and make them in a budget format for their store, which I really enjoy. So this is the budget end of their paper, but as you can see on the surface, everything is performed quite well. If we look at the reverse of this page, what we get is an interesting mix. Firstly, that Sharpie is always going to come through. It's an alcohol-based marker. It's never going to, not a lot of papers really stand up to it. Then there's a little bit of Bay State Blue coming through. That's a particularly aggressive ink that's going to do a lot of papers, sorry. And then we get hits of where I put down like larger amounts of the ink. So where I've done like little swatch tests, and I've put down like a larger amount of the ink. We have a couple of dots coming through. We also have a couple of dots coming here from the Rollerball and the Pentel Energel. And that Energel is also a relatively, I wouldn't say aggressive, but a lot of papers don't enjoy it as much as I would like. But generally speaking, from the majority of these fountain pens, including that lovely broad, Mont Blanc with the stub nib, or the very wet Lamy 2000, everything has performed relatively well on this side. So for your finer nibs, for your everyday note-taking pens, those kinds of things, this paper will probably be okay. As I said, for me, this is great everyday knockabout paper, not necessarily the things you're going to keep. You might want to get a nice journal or something for that. These sort of everyday spiral notebooks are probably best served for quick note taking, for sort of what I in my life just call disposable notes. But the colors look nice. I think there's not a whole lot of show through, so you could probably use both sides of the page. As I said, if you're using finer nibs, less aggressive inks, those kinds of things, this would probably do quite well. It's a simple, clean notebook at a super affordable price from a retailer that is kind of everywhere. So yeah, if you're looking for something that's affordable and usable for the most part, Maruman Spiral Note from Daiso here in Australia, and I assume from other branches of the store worldwide as well. Really great little notebooks at a really decent price. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, all that kind of stuff. Get in touch if you'd like to support the channel. It's your support that makes this channel possible. So thank you for watching. Enjoy your paper, and I'll talk to you soon.